Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So in this video we're going to take this WeMoveWebsites.com install of WordPress on managed WordPress hosting, and we're going to move it over here to this this other cPanel hosting account we've got over here, and we're going to use this domain name WeMoveWebsites.com the whole way through. So first thing we're going to want to do is get in and get a backup of our website. So just to show you, WeMoveWebsites.com, you enter that, and right now you get 2015 basic WordPress theme. So first thing you're going to want to do is you get your settings for your FTP and SFTP, and you can use the login credentials that are right here. Copy and paste your username and your password. There you go. So that's going to connect up there, and that's going to show us all of our files. So as we've done in previous videos, we're just going to show you how to take a download of all of your information. So we're going to just label this We Move Websites, and you can see we got another backup there from a previous video, but that's where you're going to take all of your information. And again, like other people have said, you know, some people like to take their own just the WP content and the WP includes folder. Personally, I like to go ahead and take everything and just move it all down right into there. And especially going from managed WordPress to regular hosting platform like a cPanel or something like that, it's a good idea just to take all the files with you. So that's downloading now. Usually FTP is the longest part, so we'll get that started, and then you will switch over to the tab to PHP MyAdmin. We'll go ahead and pop that open, and again you got your username, and password right here. So I haven't practiced this migration or this move too much, so hopefully it goes well and I don't look like a fool. So we're going to go ahead and grab our database, export that right there. SQL is already checked, save file as, and it's going to take all of our database tables, and you click go down in the bottom right there. Great. So that spits out our database. That was pretty quick. We're going to do a show in Finder, and you can see that our database is here. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a move and just slide that database over into our correct folder and get that out of the way. So now we've got our database, and our files are downloading right now. Right. So there we go. We're downloading our We Move Websites, and that'll be finished in just a moment. Pretty quick actually, but there's nothing on the in the files in the WP content or anything, so it should come down fairly quick. Yours may take a little bit more time. I'm sure you'll have pictures and stuff like that in there. You can see I don't even have an uploads folder yet. So we've got that We Move Websites. We've got all of our information, our files down here. We can open that up and check it, and we got our database here. So now it is time to remove the domain from the Manage WordPress and set it up over on the cPanel. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to make this temporary domain the primary. It's going to change over. Give that a minute. Give it a refresh. So that's still pending. We'll give it another minute or two to completely separate, and then we'll try and take that domain name off. There it is. Remove wemovewebsites.com. So we'll remove that. That says we are successfully removed. So let's just jump back in here. Yep, and it looks like we only have that one domain name there, so perfect. So now we're going to set this up over on our cPanel. Since we have, there's a couple of different kinds of cPanels. There's ones that you can have multiple domains and ones that you can have one domain. This is the kind that you can only have one domain. So for this video and this instance, I'm going to just show you on the wemovewebsites.com domain name. cPanel username. How about let's use that. So that's what I used for the last video. Not gonna work. And this. Oh. At %. Oh. None of these. Okay, so I'll give it one of those. So we got my cPanel stuff all set up, and this has got to be all lowercase. So let's do this. Here's a neat little trick for you. I think you can make lowercase. I guess I should identify that trick. If you right click on it and go to transformation, make lowercase, make uppercase, transformations, capitalize. So it'll capitalize the first letter, but only if it's spaced. So if it's like this, and we're just killing time while that sets up. Transformations, capitalize. Boom. A little shortcut for you. Alright, so our account is ready. We're going to get started. Perfect. So we got our IP address here to our new cPanel. That's great information. We're going to go ahead and copy that. Just paste that there. Maybe not. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do to go ahead and connect your WordPress site, we're just going to go into I'm sorry, not PHP MyAdmin, MySQL databases, and we're going to go ahead and create a new database. So we need to give it a name. So our name is whoops. Sorry about that. So we need to get it a database name. So we're going to copy this because this is the SQL file, and that SQL file name is the same name as your database name, and it's also going to be your username. So we're going to create that. So that looked like it was successful. We go back. So our database is here. Add new user. So the username is going to be the same. And the password. And we got to get the database password, so we're going to get that from our WP config file. So we're going to open that up from our download, and you can see our database password is right here. So we've got that. And we create it. Alright, so now we've got our database and we've got our user, but we need to connect our user to our database. So we got a user, we got database, add user. I'm gonna go ahead and I think there's a place to all privileges. This is where you set your privileges for your database user. Every time you create a user or connect them, you'll get this screen. Make changes. Cool. Go back. So now we've created that database, we've created the user, and we've added it to the database, and we've given permissions on the database. Perfect. So then we go back here, and now we can go to PHP My Admin. And when that opens up, you'll see that now our database is here. We've created it, and it's there. So what we're going to want to do is import our database. And I'm just going to do a copy, because when I do the import, it's going to ask me to browse, and then I can just search. And I've got one here. Desktop. Yep, that's the one we want. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, so that went on ahead and added. Looks like I just had to upload it twice, interestingly enough. So now our database is there. Not sure why we got that initial error, but good thing we got it on tape there. We can go ahead and take a look. But as you can see, sorry, I was just going ahead and taking a look at our database there and seeing why that may not have uploaded, but it looked like everything was okay. Just attempted to upload again. Okay, perfect. So we'll go ahead and move along. So next we're going to go back to our handy dandy FTP, which in my case is transmit, and we're going to do Command N, and we're going to open up a new page. And for manage WordPress you're using SFTP, but for regular cPanel you're going to use FTP. So we're going to go ahead and copy that there, and we're going to paste it, and then you take your cPanel username and password, which in my case was this. We move dev team, and then I was messing around with the transformation. We need to make that lowercase. Copy that and paste it in there, and then our password. And as I remember, I had to change that to a pound, right? Oh. Actually goes up there. And then this is the username. Okay, so if you got that, sorry. If you didn't, I just entered the server. Server is our IP off of our cPanel right there. And then you've got your FTP, we move dev team, that's mine. And then we got my password, which I copied and pasted from right there. So again, we just go ahead and connect up. And there we go. We're into our cPanel. So now you click on public_HTML, and that folder goes on ahead and drops down. And you'll notice that we move websites as your main domain. So since this is your main domain on your account, it's going to path right to the public_HTML folder, and that's okay. We're just going to upload all of our files right into there. So we go into our backup there, and then we're going to take all of these files here. So that's our full WordPress install from cPanel, and we're just going to move it right into that public_HTML, and you're going to see all that stuff start to pop up. So while that's going right there, let's go ahead and check check DNS. On our domains. And what I did there is I just got this drop down menu, and I right clicked, and I can do open link in new tab. So I don't leave my cPanel, I just open that in a new tab. Another little trick. We move websites. DNS zone file. That looks like it matches, right? 7070. Alright, so it looks like we're all set up. It's our email DNS settings. This will send email directly off the cPanel. These are all those settings. Great, so that's all set up. And close out of that tab. So we move websites. We reload that, we get an error. But that's okay, because right now our files are uploading, so we should get an error. that lets us know that our DNS is already switched actually as well. We're just waiting for that FTP to finish up. Still waiting on that upload. So I was thinking what I might be able to show everyone who might be watching this. And one thing that I see in a lot of blogs that I go into, and just tech articles and stuff that I see online, and a popular error with current shopping carts and themes is upload limits and memory usage. So since we got a second, something that you can do in many hosting accounts, many cPanels, different ones, you can set different settings for your PHP. In this one, it sets you at 5.4, but you can set it to 5.5. Set that. Now, depending on what PHP code you're running, this may cause problems in your website though, so be careful, and you may want to go ahead and switch it back to 5.4, but you know, you should really honestly update your code if it does break something, because you're using something that's old and should be changed. But yeah, you click on this switch PHP extensions button over here, and then you can change all these settings here. So maybe 64 megabytes, maybe 64 megabytes again, memory limit 512, because I think that's what they write on the front of the panel. This is at -1 max input time. Not sure what -1 is, but let's crank that up to like 2, because if it's at -1 and we make it 2, can't be too bad, right? Max execution time 30, maybe 60. I know that's another one that execution time, I think people get that popped up, so you can play with those settings. If something breaks, you can always come back and, you know, try and fix it back in here. Just undo what you did, and then you're going to save changes on that. So those are saved, and then once you do anything like that, you're going to want to kill PHP Processes. But what that does is that's going to stop any kind of code from running on your website. So if you have people on your website at the time you're doing this, which obviously if you're uploading your website you wouldn't, but just in case, you're going to want to, you know, just know that you're going to kick everybody off your site. And PHP Processes, you go in there and you can see nothing found. Sometimes you have to refresh these screens on these cPanels because they are laggy. I know there's some web hosts I have to do that on, but kill processes, You can do it twice. That's okay. And then whatever changes you've made to that will now take effect. So we're still waiting for that upload to finish so we can just verify that our website is showing. And there we go. So got my little handy dandy note up there that everything is uploaded and ready to go. I'm going to close out of this because it's my old WP config. So now if we reload this, error establishing database connection. Okay, so no problem. Let's go check that out. So now we're working off of our server here, and we're just going to go into the WP config, edit that with my Sublime text. And the problem that we have here is the host name is different. So on Managed WordPress it gives you this long string, and on cPanel it's just localhost. Whoop. H-O-S-T, localhost. We're going to save that. Command S, Control S will save it back to the server. And then we should refresh this page and we should get WordPress. Fantastic, that worked. So there you go. That's how you move a Managed WordPress website to a cPanel. Takes care of that. You can verify this from a website called What's My DNS, and you can see it's a site that I've obviously visited before. But What's My DNS is a fast loading. There's a bunch of these, but this one loads faster than the other ones, and you can search and on that, and that our A record is our IP address from our cPanel, and you can see that that's the 107.180.470, and then you can see that that matches here. So that means what we're looking at right here is off of our cPanel. So there you have it. We move websites. Just moved a website for all of my YouTube viewers. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down in the box below. Otherwise, glad to help out. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any other requests.